friends, it's Terria. I thought I'd come back and make a quick video and answer some common questions that people ask on their lock journey. So I thought I would answer them, and it also allow you to get to know me a little bit better. So without further delay, I think the first question that anybody always wants to know is, why did you start locks? For me, I like braids. I always like my hair when it's braided, and locks would give that same type of look without all of the sit down for braids and all of the takedown later on. Just more of a more permanent arrangement. As for if I ever plan on combing my locks out or cutting them, who knows what the future holds. But right now, I'm planning on growing them until. The next question is, how did I start my locks and why did I choose that method? I started with 2-strand twist. I chose that method because I was able to do it by myself. Now, I had one set of locks before that I went to a professional, and I got started with 2-strand twist as well because I thought it would also be easier for me to maintain. Initially, comb coils seemed to be a little more fragile than 2-strand twist, so I opted for 2-strand twist. I was able to start them at my own, start them on my own in my house without having to pay somebody. How did I decide on parting and size? I initially wanted triangle parting, but it was way too difficult to do on my own. So I just went with simple square bricklay pattern. I did the best that I could. As for size, I just went with what worked on my head. I've worn 2-strand twist enough times that I know kind of where my thin spots, and I know that I've got, like in my temple, not from tension, it's just the way my hair grows. It's just the way the hair, other members of my family, that's just the pattern of our growth. So knowing that, I was able to take that into consideration when I did my parting and when I decided on middle part, side part, angle parts, etc. But keeping all in mind that at the end, I hope to have thick locks or fairly thick locks. I hope that they'll thicken up a little bit. All right, next question, and you see me looking down, it's because I have a sheet of paper down below my iPad. But the next question is, what is my daily maintenance routine? So for me, I wear a silk scarf to sleep in. And when I say silk, I don't even mean satin. No offense to people that wear satin, but I actually wear 100% silk on my hair. I've done that since I was a teenager, just because I know that silk is good for, or it doesn't harm hair. And so I've worn a silk scarf, I mean, for over 30 years now. Not the same one, but that's just my normal routine. At night, when I put the silk scarf on, I actually have this, which is like a gaiter for running, but I just found a different use for it, for repurposing, and it actually helps to keep the scarf on my head, to keep it from sliding overnight without compressing my locks. The next thing that I do as part of my daily routine is my moisture mist, which I've mentioned a couple times in my other videos, which is my own personal routine for moisturizing my hair daily. And then thirdly, I wear a shower cap in the shower. And even though I'm misting my hair, getting it wet in the shower, I've noticed that, first of all, it makes my hair frizz up unnecessarily, just unnecessarily. It's not even the good type of frizz. But the other thing is, I noticed that I was getting soap buildup in my hair just from the part that's touching like my neck or my shoulders and in the shower. So I wear a shower cap even though I missed my hair. It works. So at this point, at 5 months in, I don't have lint or buildup, so it's working for me. So if you're interested, you can check out my other video. And next question is, how often do I wash and retwist? The answer for how often I wash is as needed. On average, it's about every week and a half to 2 weeks, but it just depends on my schedule, when I have time and when I feel like it needs it. I've mentioned before that I live in Arizona. I'm pretty active, so even though I don't sweat a lot in my hair, but I still just pay attention. Does my hair need to be washed? And if it does, then I go ahead and wash it. As for my retwist, so far I haven't retwisted more often than every 4 weeks. So I've only done, I guess that makes about 3 or 4 retwists. At one point, there was 1 month that I went in midway and I did like a light retwist. I just did a partial retwist along like my part line and around the perimeter just to kind of neaten it up. But for my whole head, I only do about every 3 to 4 weeks. And so far it's been every 4 weeks. I haven't done it as often as 3. I feel like once I get a little bit further on in my journey, I may stretch that out a little bit longer so that I can semi-freeform and then really get some thick locks. All right, next question is, what product do I use for my retwist? I've shared my recipe for my moisture mist, but I didn't actually share what I do for my retwist, and it's real simple. I use aloe vera gel and oil. I use a mixture of this aloe vera gel that I've shown you in a previous video and my moisture mist. I use the 2 of those, and I palm roll the roots and not down the length of the lock, and that's it. And it seems to be working. Again, I don't have a lot of buildup. I don't have any buildup in my hair. My scalp feels healthy. The next question is, do I have any plans on going to a professional for maintenance? And the answer is no. At this point, I know that I can do it on my own. And at first I was a little nervous about whether or not I was going to know how to palm roll, but I'm just like, oh, I got this. So, I mean, maybe if I have a special occasion where I want a style or a special updo or something, I think I'll go, back to a professional. But just for my regular monthly maintenance, I plan on doing that myself, saving my money, saving my coins for other things. Next question is, the last 3 questions are more mental and emotional. So this question is, do I believe in an ugly phase? And my answer is no. So as a man thinketh, so is he. Why am I gonna go around here thinking that I am ugly, my hair is ugly, or whatever else? It's doing what it's supposed to do. It is doing what God intended for it to do. That's not ugly. Anything that God creates is beautiful. So there have been times that I feel like now my hair can be in an awkward phase, an awkward length where I can't put it up. You can't, you pull it down, and you just may be limited on style options, but there are always options, because earlier in my journey, I wore a lot of head wraps. That's just because I like them. I'm not wearing them so much now because, as I mentioned, I'm in Arizona, and average temperature, at least last week, was close to 120 degrees. So head wraps are on pause until the fall. Yeah, too damn hot to be wearing head wraps right now. Too hot. But so far as that awkward phase, I jazz it up with the head wraps or funky earrings and just make myself feel pretty in other ways. The next question is, have I had any negative criticism or any naysayers? Because I think there's a lot of different stigma, or people internalize that there's stigma associated with locks. And for me, I haven't had any of those responses. The people in my circle have been very supportive of my decision to lock my hair. I work in an environment that's very accepting. If you can tell, I'm all sleeved up. I've got piercings. And my job, the job that I have, I'm thankful, I'm blessed. My job lets me do my job regardless of how I look. So I haven't had any negative criticism. I haven't had any issues with it. So yeah, I'm living my life. And my last question is the loc journey a spiritual journey? Because so often we think of people with locks as being more spiritually connected. And I didn't go into it for it to be that for me, but it has certainly turned into that. I definitely feel a connection to my ancestors. I definitely feel more grounded. I feel more self-acceptance. So it's definitely a spiritual journey. I feel like I'm constantly evolving, and I'm loving the connection with myself. I'm loving falling in love with myself all over again. So it's been amazing so far, and I'm just looking forward to sharing this journey. So right now, those are all the questions that I've decided to answer. If you watch the video and there's anything else that you want to know or you would like for me to touch upon in another video, please drop a comment below. As I always say, let's leave comments, let's support each other on the journey, and let's just love on one another. So thank you for joining me on my journey today, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.